and of course online.
Yeah, but right now let's get back to that story about the violent sex offender captured after a manhunt right here in Richmond.
We're told Robert Hanna overpowered a guard, got out of his shackles and ran from a treatment facility on Professional Road in Chesterfield. You can see that on the left of your screen. But this all forced both Huguenot High and Thompson Middle Schools in Richmond on lockdown.
Yeah, and as you can imagine, people who live in the area were on edge. CBS 6, we have complete coverage tonight. We begin with our Jerrita Patterson, who has more on the moment Hanna was captured. Jerrita?
Lorenzo and Julie, it was quite the scene this morning into this afternoon, but what a difference a few hours makes as things are now quiet here in this community, which isn't far from Forest Hill Avenue on the city's, on Richmond's south side, let me mention. But according to police, if I can set the stage, moment, Robert Hanna is said to have assaulted a guard. He tried stealing a van before he eventually ran away on foot. But it was here in this community where that takedown took place, and we were there when it all happened. This is the bloodied face of the convicted sex offender, accused of leading local, state, and federal agents on a nearly 4-hour manhunt Thursday.
The commanders on scene felt pretty confident that since he was on foot and we were established a perimeter very quickly, that he was in here laid down somewhere.
That hunch paid off as Robert Hanna was taken into custody shortly after noon here off Lansdale Road.
I think I can see the other cop car that was parked there.
To understand the full scope, you have to go back a few hours. The search began after investigators say Hanna, an inmate at the Virginia Center for Behavioral Rehabilitation, overpowered a guard at a Chesterfield treatment facility.
It's surreal and it's very unnerving.
As police, with Hanna's mugshot in hand, set up a perimeter, went door to door, searched by air and on land with canines.
They've been like all around my entire perimeter of my property, going pretty fast.
Rebecca Ronisi Gutierrez was conducting her own search inside her home.
I went through with a thing of mace that I have in my dog, like in every corner, because who knows? I mean, you never know.
Less than an hour later, Hanna was captured outside this house, directly behind the home of Ronisi Gutierrez.
I'm still kind of trying to wrap my head around it.
But of course, we can report that no one was hurt during that takedown. But coming up at 6 o'clock, you're going to hear from police on who they credit for helping them end this massive manhunt. Working for you on the city's south side, Jerrita Patterson, CBS 6 News. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Jerrita. And an eyewitness tells us Hanna assaulted a female guard watching over him outside of that treatment center to break free. Our Shelby Brown is following that part of the story. And Shelby, it looks like Hanna was waiting for the right time to strike.
Well, that's right, Julie. And, you know, police say it was pretty bold of him to break free from that guard's custody, injuring her in the process. The escape and the manhunt happening right here on this part of South Richmond, right near Thompson Middle School and Huguenot High School, that area not too far away. We spoke with an eyewitness who was there when Hanna got away, and folks who work in the area. They tell us they were stunned by what happened.
A Thursday morning appointment for Randy Crawley took quite an unexpected turn. He was at this building on Professional Road when transport staff brought in an inmate. A female guard, he says, remained outside in a van with another inmate, Robert Hanna, a violent sex offender. Within minutes, Crawley heard a commotion.
Well, I heard a lot of screaming going on, and they were fighting. And she ran into the facility, and I asked her, was it okay? She said, no. He said he fought me. He took the keys from me.
Crawley tells us Hanna attacked the unarmed female guard. Did you see him fighting her?
I seen him fighting her, yes.
I mean, what was he trying to do?
He was trying to pull her into the car, because she told me, I seen it. I didn't notice, I was reading the paper, but I was just looking outside. He was trying to get her in the car, but she wouldn't go. She fought him off.
Crawley pointed out the transport van he says Hanna tried to escape in.
Yeah, I seen him, he tried to start the truck up. So after he couldn't get the truck started off, he took his shackles or whatever he had off, and then he stood for a while, and then he started running towards Richmond.
Prompting a massive search by Chesterfield, Richmond, and Virginia State Police, who used canines on the ground and searchers in the air.
I think he was desperate for freedom, and he took a necessary opportunity to see that he can escape, and he did it.
Early in the morning, you never thought you ever see anything like this.
Now, coming up at 5:30, what the agency overseeing the guards had to say about today's escape here in South Richmond. Also, what they're saying about their policy regarding transporting inmates. We'll have that coming up at 5:30. For now, we'll send it back to the studio.
Thanks, Shelby. And this is not the first time Hannah has escaped from custody. Shelby will also tell us about the first time he was on the run, and she's investigating why security wasn't tighter this time. That's also in our complete coverage coming up at